Hi everyone, and welcome to Wella Canada West live with me, Samantha Nailed It from OPI. Today, let's talk about what's coming June 1st, our summer 2021 collection, Malibu. Super exciting this year. We are celebrating 40 years. So to celebrate our 40 years, we're going to be taking it back a little bit to our hometown of Los Angeles. And, you know, we do 4 collections a year. We do spring, summer, fall, and holiday. So for spring, we saw our Hollywood collection, the birthplace of OPI. And for summer, we're heading out to the beach to Malibu. So let's see some of those colors that I'm genuinely excited for to look at when we're seeing that release June 1st. So our first shade is From Dusk Till Dawn, which is a beautiful creamy shade, kind of sheer with blue reflex. Absolutely gorgeous. I have this on my nails right now. We have a true cream shade, Coastal Sanctuary. I don't know if I said this. It's From Dusk Till Dawn. This one is Coastal Sanctuary. The next is El Matadoring You. We have this beautiful chestnut brown Endless Sunner. I think I have a bronzer that looks kind of like that. A chocolate brown named Cliffside Karaoke. A beautiful brown taupe Bonfire Serenade. We have a true marigold yellow, Marigolden Hour, Shiny Orange, PCH Love Song. And for those who don't know, PCH is the Pacific Coast Highway, which runs along the coast of California. We have Strawberry Waves Forever, which is our hero shade for this collection. And this is kind of a reimagination of our iconic OPI shade, Strawberry Margarita. Next, we have really cool iridescent purple, The Sound of Vibrance. We have Paradise Cove, one of my favorite shades in this collection. And then finally, Malibu Shore. So all of these colors are available in nail lacquer, infinite shine, and gel color. So that's what we have to look forward to for summer 2021. So alongside with that, I have some nail art to show you today. So we're going to be taking a look at these 4 looks. I've tried to use as many shades as possible. So this first look here, we are using 3 shades and kind of doing that swoop look that we're seeing all over social media right now. We see right here using my favorite shade from the collection, Paradise Cove, with beautiful daisies. I'm using a cloud kind of texture here to showcase maybe a little bit of the Pacific Coast skyline here. And then of course, a dynamic pairing featuring brown and lime green. So let's get started. First, I'm going to be doing the swoop tutorial here. So to do this look, I'm going to be using 3 shades. I'm going to be using like I said, my favorite, one of my favorites, the one I have on my nails right now. I'm going to be using From Dusk Till Dawn. Then I'm going to also be showing you this look using Malibu Shore and PCH Love Song. So fun. So let's set these shades aside and start on our look here. So to start, I've already applied 1 coat of our Stay Classic base coat and 1 coat of From Dusk Till Dawn. And I've cured for 30 seconds and for 30 seconds. And I'm only doing 1 coat of From Dusk Till Dawn because I want to make sure that it's still nice and sheer. You know, you could put another coat on here and make it a little bit more opaque, but I like the sheerness of this. So to start for our swoop, I'm actually going to be taking PCH Love Song and one of our Expert Touch Removal Wraps. And I'm going to be using this as a palette. So I'm going to set that aside so that we can utilize it for our detail here. So it's kind of up to you. You can use the bottle brush, you could use a detailing brush, you could use a smile line brush. It's totally up to you. I personally am going to be putting that aside. I'm going to use the bottle brush. So taking PCH Love Song, I've shaken the bottle for 30 seconds, or sorry, for 1 minute, just to make sure that all of the pigments are fully dispersed and through the polish here. And I'm going to kind of make a little semicircle right at the end. I'm going to kind of come from, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to come from the left side and swoop down to the right side. So if you're left-handed, maybe you would want to go from right to left. But because I am right-handed, I'm going to come this way. And then I'm going to kind of touch up some of the edges here, just to fill it in, and always, always, always cap the free edge. And I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds in my dual cure LED lamp. I always do up the caps because I am famous for tipping stuff over. So next, to do our second swoop, I'm going to be taking Malibu Shore. And to make sure that my lines are nice and crisp, I'm going to be using the Expert Touch Removal Wrap as a palette, and I'm going to be using a detailing brush. See how I just use this nice, I've already cleansed this, making sure it's at a nice point. So while that's curing, I'm going to take a little blob of Malibu Shore, not too much, you don't need too much. Just put that right there so that I can use that to create my swoop. So after curing, I have my, swoop at the bottom here from right to left, my little semicircle. So I'm going to turn it a little bit. Again, I'm right-handed, so I need a little bit. I would turn my client's hand, so I'm going to turn the tip just a teensy bit. And I'm going to start with the top line. And when I'm doing line work, let me bring this a little bit closer. When I'm doing line work, I like to load my brush up with product and then kind of pull off any excess. So I'm not getting a bead, but the bristles are not dry, okay? So set that aside, get our tip here, and I'm going to start from the left and kind of, come down along here, making a nice swoop. Fill in a little bit here, just like that. So I got a nice little swoop. And then I'm going to kind of create my next outline by starting right to left and coming down along our Pacific PCH Love Song, just like that. And then I'm going to take my detailing brush and I'm going to fill in the spots, turning the nail as I need to, turning the nail as I need to. And I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. So while it's curing in the lamp, I want to make sure that I'm not allowing my palette or my brush to see the light. So I'm going to kind of hold my palette up. I'm going to hold my brush behind it. And the reason why is because the light is traveling outside of the lamp and I don't want my brush to be hardened with gel, but I'm also not done with this color. So I want to make sure that I'm not hardening my brush. I've done it a couple times. You learn the hard way. It's okay. So after that's cured for 30 seconds, I am going to go over it one more time. I'm always a stickler for opacity. It depends. There are shades that like this from Dusk Till Dune that I do want it to be sheer, but this Malibu Shore here, definitely don't want it to be sheer. So I'm just kind of going over it, and I did kind of just pick up a glob there because I'm going to use it and kind of spread it out as my second coat. Just kind of filling it in again, making sure that all the spots are nice and opaque in a way that you like it. Again, I'm turning the tip as if I would turn my client's finger. And again, just filling it in. Just like this. There we go. And then I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. And after that's been cured for 30 seconds, I'm going to add a coat of top coat. But before I do that, I really want to make sure that my brush is nice and clean so that I can use it for the next one. So luckily, the Expert Touch removal wraps have little cotton pads in the center. And that's where we usually put the remover so that you can soak off the product. But right now, I'm using it as a little cotton pad to cleanse off my brush. And you can use some NAS 99 and spritz right in the middle here. And I like to press it down with my finger and pull so that you can get any excess product out, just like that. And then when you're done with this, it's nice and easy because you can just go like this and throw it in the garbage. So after I've applied with my Stay Shiny top coat and cured for 30 seconds, this is what we're left with here. So we've got, you can actually see those reflex in this light. If I tilt it just around like this, it's beautiful. See those blue reflex? So we've got From Dusk Till Dune, we've got Malibu Shore, and PCH Love Song in a beautiful swoop pattern. I always love the swoop look. If you're interested in seeing some really, really cool ways to do a swoop French manicure, follow Nail Art by Sig. She does tons of awesome, easy DIY swoop nails. Love, love, love them. She's got TikTok too. That's always fun to watch. So there we go. What do you think? Yay! So our next look that we're going to do is the daisies. I love doing a nice daisy nail for the springtime. I think it's such a simple way to add a little bit of color and kind of stay up with the season. So for this look, I'm going to be using one of my favorites from the collection, Paradise Cove. Then I'm going to be using Marigolden Hour. And then of course, a collection and a little bit of nail art is never complete without OPI iconic shade Alpine Snow. So to start this nail art look, I'm going to be doing 2 coats of the Paradise Cove. And after curing for 30 seconds, that's when I have something that looks like this. Gorgeous. Like, look how perfect. The bottle is literally the exact same color as that nail. That's beautiful. So for our first step here, what I would like to do is create the centers for our daisies. And to do that, I am going to take one of my makeshift palettes, an Expert Touch removal wrap, and I'm going to take Marigolden Hour. And after shaking it for a minute, I'm going to put a little dollop right there. And to create my dots, I am going to be using a dotting tool. So my dotting tool has 2 ends, kind of got like a pointed end and a ball. I'm going to be using the ball to create the centers of my daisies. So I kind of want to do them in like a little, again, a nice little swoop up, but I'm going to start in the middle so that I'm going to, kind of have it evenly placed. So getting some of that Marigolden Hour, I'm going to place a dot right in the center, and then I'm going to kind of swoop it up here and then swoop down this way. Oh, missed it a little bit. Just like that, so that it's kind of coming up and over. And then I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds in my dual cure LED lamp. And then again, like I did before, I'm going to take this center cotton pad and kind of clean my dotting tool off in between. And then to do our petals, I'm going to be taking iconic OPI shade Alpine Snow. And of course, after I've shaken this for 1 minute, put a little bit of Alpine Snow on my makeshift palette, and I'm going to be using my detail brush again. And of course, it's nice and clean because I cleansed it right before, and it's ready to use. So here I have, after curing, I have my centers all the way up in a swoop motion. And of course, because I'm right-handed, I like to start from the left. And a lot of that is if I started here and then I put my, and then when I'm using my pinky and then I'm rotating, then I'm slowly but surely going to be touching these and messing them all up. So there's many different ways to do daisies. I'm going to set this aside and do a little demonstration on the palette here. Take a little bit of it, kind of create a ball. You can place the ball and drag. You can do, kind of round, and then pointed and fill in the gaps. But for these, because they're kind of tight together, I am just going to do little tiny lines. Sometimes the most intricate things, are the simplest. So taking a little bit, actually loading my brush up and dragging off any excess here. I'm going to start. I would turn my client's hand and I'm going to start right in the left here and go create little lines all around the yellow center. And if they get kind of close here, what you can do is flash cure it for 15 seconds. So what flash curing is that it means that I'm going to put it in my LED dual cure lamp for 15 seconds. It's not going to be completely cured, but it's going to be cured enough that it doesn't kind of flow into each other. So OPI gel color has, self-leveling kind of agents there. So what ends up happening is that if you get two colors too close together, so say I, had a dot here and a dot here, and I let them, they'll slowly but surely become one. And then see if I can lift it up a little bit. See how they're blending into each other? We don't want that when we're doing little tiny petals. So it's nice to just flash cure real quick so that these are set in their little place. And then I can move on to the next little petals and not have to worry about them becoming one big blob. So just working away here. Like I said, if anything, they're not too close, it's no big deal. But if they get too close, then I just quickly do a 15-second flash cure and mosey on to the next. So I'm just continuing from left to right. Just kind of, not really caring how many petals there are. You could have 5 petals, 6 petals, as many as can fit. You can cure and then do some more. It's totally your call. It's the nicest part about nail art is that nail art is just so unique and individual. Doesn't really have to be anything exact. Maybe a little bit more abstract, just like that. So then I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds just to make sure that everything is completely cured. And then while that's curing, I'm going to, of course, take my brush, get some NAS 99, which is our 99% isopropyl alcohol solution. Put that in the center and really give my brush a nice little cleanse. Just like that. And then because I'm all done with this, doop, doop, right in the garbage. And then I'm going to be, of course, applying one coat of our gel color Stay Shiny top coat and curing it for 30 seconds. And that's when we have this beautiful spring. Like that green is stunning. I love it. Beautiful spring daisies. And of course, in a swoop pattern. So, like I said, super easy, looks intricate. Those are my favorite. So next, what I really want to showcase is these beautiful, beautiful blues, purples, and pinks. I love these. Strawberry Waves Forever has a nice iridescence, kind of like a glitter, but not quite. And then, of course, Sound of Vibrance has that blue kind of duotone there. I love so much. So let's start making these beautiful sunset clouds. I know not everybody is, into the like colorful looks right yet. It's, we're just easing into summertime, but I think this would look really cool if you did it with any colors, or if you did a colored background and just white clouds. I think this would be a really cool look, but I think I like the idea of the sunset here. So to start, I'm actually going to be doing one coat of alpine snow. And you could use alpine snow. You could actually do a completely, nude background. You don't have to have any color at all. I'm just using this as a nice background so that it is a little bit more vibrant. So one coat of alpine snow is not completely opaque, but that's okay. It's just our little background. So to do our clouds, of course, I'm going to be taking our makeshift palette and Expert Touch Removal Wrap. And before we get started, I actually am going to prep my colors on here right now. So, like I said, alpine snow, Then we're going to be using Strawberry Waves Forever, the reimagination of Strawberry Margarita. Then I'm going to be using our this really cool iridescent shade, The Sound of Vibrance, and finally Malibu Shore, which I think is absolutely stunning. So let's prep those colors by putting them on our little palette. I've shaken these for a minute, and I'm going to take a little blop right here. Not too much, doesn't need to be too crazy. And of course, Sound of Vibrance. And these colors are nice and opaque, so I feel like they cover perfectly. And then finally, a little dollop of Malibu Shore. Just like that. Perfect. So I'm going to be using both my detailing brush, and I'm also going to be using this old ombre brush that I found. It's kind of in, it's a little worse for wear, but that's okay. Sometimes those brushes, you're like, oh, I should throw that away. And then always find a use for it and say, oh, I wish I had that, crummy ombre brush that I used to use all the time. So to start for our first row of clouds, I'm going to be using Strawberry Waves Forever. So I'm going to get a little bit of that shade on there on my brush. Same thing, load up the brush, kind of drag off any excess. And then I'm going to, again, start from left because I'm right-handed. I'm going to be, creating little rainbows. Just a little rainbow there. Maybe a big rainbow here. And then another little rainbow here. Ooh, there we go. Just kind of fill it in here. Just give it a little bit more oomph. And before curing my little 3 rainbows, I'm going to be taking my ombre brush, just like this. And I'm going to give it a little spritz with my NAS 99 over here so I don't get it all over my table. And I'm going to use the points of my ombre brush, and I'm going to just, with a patting motion, bring down some of that color, just to kind of drag it out just a little bit. Doesn't have to be too crazy. See how it's just blending it just a little bit. And also doesn't have to be perfect. Just like that. Now I do want to make sure that I'm emphasizing those lines, so I'm going to get some more of that Strawberry Waves Forever, and I'm going to go over my rainbows just a little bit, just to give it some depth and dimension. Just like that. Perfect. So I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. And while that's curing, because I'm going to be moving on to my next shade, The Sound of Vibrance, I am going to be cleaning both of my brushes off. So I'll clean off my detailing brush and give my ombre brush a little clean too. Let's set that aside. And after curing, we have beautiful little Strawberry Waves Forever clouds. Love it. So our next layer of clouds, I'm going to be doing just a little bit above and kind of make it a different shape so they look a little bit layered or almost 3D, you know what I mean? So in the same way, I'm going to load up my bristles of my detailing brush with The Sound of Vibrance. And then I'm going to start a little lower here with my little rainbow shapes. Bring it up. Maybe do a big rainbow shape here. Because clouds are all different shapes and, thicknesses, I suppose. Fluffy clouds. Those are some fluffy clouds, that's for sure. So again, I'm going to be taking a little bit of NAS 99 and spritzing my ombre brush. And then I'm going to blend just a little bit. Don't want to completely get rid of our shape here. Just want to make sure it's kind of, like I said, giving it some dimension. Go all the way around. And this side too. You can blend it as little or as much as you want. Again, nail art is so unique, and it's kind of like, the eye of the beholder, Everybody's kind of got their own styles and their own ways of doing things. So if you like one of the ways that I'm doing it, I'd love to see your recreations. You can tag me in any of your nail art at Samantha Nailed It and share some of your recreations. And if you change the way that, it's done, change the color, change, the placement on the nail, use different brushes. It's all up to you. You are the artist. Again, I'm going over my edges one more time just to give it some dimension, and I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. And of course, like I just did before, I'm going to clean off my brush because I'm all done using that purple shade. Same with my little ombre brush here. And then when that's completely cured, we're going to be doing the same thing again with Malibu Shore. And then I'm going to kind of make it a little bit fluffier up top. So it's a lot of repetition, but once it's done, it's beautiful. So this time, instead of starting low on the left-hand side, I'm actually going to start a little bit higher. So creating my little rainbow shapes here, kind of starting a little higher, come down, and then maybe give that little rainbow a little height, and one right at the end, just like that. And of course, taking my ombre brush, couple spritz of our NAS 99, and I'm going to use it to blend out these lines. And of course, I'm tilting the nail as if I was tilting my client's hand. Just makes it a little bit easier. Don't hesitate to manipulate a client's hand or their finger, just because it's easy to move their hand. Sometimes when you're doing nail art, you need to anchor. I actually anchor my whole arm on the side of the table, and I also like to use my pinky. I'm resting my pinky on my finger for stability. Because let's be real, after a long day of doing nails and nail art, and it's maybe pedicures or whatever is included in your services, your hands get a little tired and they might get a little bit shaky. So just want to create a nice space for yourself, because you're no good unless you're no good to anybody unless you're good to yourself, right? So I'm just doing a quick little outline of my my little clouds there, and then I'm going to cure for 30 seconds. And because I'm completely done with my brushes now, I do want to spritz a little bit of NAS 99 on my palette so that I can genuinely clean out any excess gel color out of my brushes, both brushes here, just like that. And then fold, garbage, easy. And then after, of course, a final step that cannot be forgotten is gel color Stay Shiny top coat. And that's when we end with our beautiful sunset clouds. Again, you could do a little sun, you could do the background in a negative space look. It's totally up to you. Blend a little bit more, blend a little less. It's totally your call, just like that. And of course, if this was my client, I would be adding a little bit of our OPI Pro Spa, skincare, hands and feet, nail and cuticle oil. This is gorgeous and smells unreal. So that's what I would finish. Do a little whoop on the cuticle, rub it in, little massage. Oh my goodness, how special. So our final look today is something that we are really seeing in trends right now. We're seeing what's called dynamic pairings. So we're seeing typically, what you would say is a darker shade or a neutral shade and a pop of color. So of course, I'm doing a little bit of a twist on a French manicure here. I'm using our shade Paradise Cove for the tip, but then for our nail surface, I'm using the shade Cliffside Karaoke. And what that's creating is Cliffside Karaoke and Paradise Cove is creating a dynamic pairing where we have two colors that are, typically not something that you would put together, but look fantastic, and it gives this pop of color. One thing that I do want to talk about, a lot of people are saying, oh, these brown shades aren't very nice for summertime. What we're looking at here is we're looking at seasonal transitions. So now we don't want to just look at a collection as something that's only for summer. We want to look and see that all of these shades can be transitioned throughout the seasons. You can wear these for spring, summer, and into the fall and winter seasons. And of course, our dynamic pairing. Maybe you're choosing a color from this selection of 6 and then adding a color from this selection of 6. And the nice thing about sharing in a collection is that you can pick any 2 shades and the dynamic pairing will be complementary. So say I'm going to pick the shade Bonfire Serenade and then random choice Marigold and Hour. These shades will look good together because they're complementary and they're in the same collection. It's a nice little thing that OPI likes to do. Even here, I'm gonna bring in PCH Love Song. These 2 shades are a perfect dynamic pairing. I always love that OPI does that in their collection. So if you choose any 2 colors, even from our Spring Hollywood collection, choose any 2 colors from that collection and they are made to look nice together. One of my favorite things. So let's get started on this look here. The first thing that we're going to do is I'm actually going to be using my detailing brush and I'm going to create the 2 outlines here so that we can have negative space in between our 2 shades, our neutral shade and our pop of color. So that being said, negative space is when there's no polish at all. So on this nail right now, all I have is base coat so that in between it would be as if there was no polish at all. So taking our makeshift palette and Expert Touch Removal Wrap, I am going to start with a little bit of Cliffside Karaoke. I have shaken both of these bottles for a minute. Make sure all of the pigments are fully dispersed in the bottle, and then a little bit of Paradise Cove. And everyone does their French manicures a little bit different. Again, it's totally up to you. I'm going to start with my nail plate first. So again, I'm going to tilt the nail just a little bit and I'm going to load up my brush with color, drag off any excess. And I'm going to kind of gauge where I want it to end, where I want the negative space to be. So I'm going to start, let's say right here. So I'm going to draw a little tiny line right there. And what I like to do is, again, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to come down from the left side wall to my line. And then I'm going to go up to my right side wall with my line. See, I've created a nice, deep C curve, and I can, clean up if you want. If you have a smile line brush, you can use that too. I'm just going to use my detail brush and fix it up just like that. Then, I'm going to wipe off that Cliffside Karaoke and go in with Paradise Cove. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to load up my bristles, wipe off any excess. I'm going to gauge where I want Paradise Cove to start, just like that. I'm going to come down from the left side wall here, touching that line. And then I'm going to start from the center and I'm going to go up to the right side wall, just like that. So I've created my 2 kind of barriers there. And then I'm actually going to be using the bottle brushes to fill those 2 spaces in. Again, you could use your detailing brush to fill in the space. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to be using the bottle brush of Cliffside Karaoke and I'm going to apply it as I would normally. And then as I've done the cuticle area, I'm going to flip my brush and I'm going to kind of come like press a little bit and flick up to meet where I've applied from the cuticle area. And this way I don't mess with my line at all. It's nice just like that. And then I'm going to do this up, of course, because I don't want to spill it. I'm going to take Paradise Cove and I'm going to fill in my free edge here. Just kind of touching, touch, and then swiping down. And then, of course, always capping the free edge because there's color right there. And then I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. And then we're going to, of course, with the magic of Instagram, I've got one done already. And you can see how we have our nice negative space line in there. But, of course, I'm a stickler for opacity, so I am going to do a second coat. So I'm going to do it the exact same way I did before, except I don't need to draw my lines again. I already have my lines there. So I'm going to use Cliffside Karaoke, and then I'm going to polish down from the cuticle area. just as I would if I was to polish the entire nail. And then I'm going to get some more product on the bottle brush, and I'm going to flip my brush, and I'm going to swoop up and meet where I've polished with the bottle brush from the cuticle down. There we go, just like that. And then I'm going to take Paradise Cove, do up the bottle. And then I'm going to take Paradise Cove and do the exact same thing that I did before, filling in my little gap here. Touch, touch, touch. Again, you could swoop across if you wanted to, and then kind of clean up any boo-boos, and of course, cap the free edge. And I would cure this for 30 seconds in the dual cure LED lamp. And then, again, do up the bottle brush. And while that's curing, I want to cleanse my brush. So a little of NAS 99 right in the center. Cleanse these brushes and set it aside. And then boop, boop, garbage. And then after applying 1 coat of gel color Stay Shiny top coat and massaging in a little bit of our nail and cuticle oil, this is the beautiful end result, just like that. So you've got our dynamic pairing with Cliffside Karaoke and Paradise Cove with a little negative space inside. So those are our 4 looks for today. If you have any questions about these 4 looks or our, oh, I did them backwards. Come on, Sam, get it together. There we go. So if you have any questions about our 4 looks here, you can always leave them in the comments on this video. Feel free to rewatch, it'll be saved. And again, please tag me and tag OPI in your recreations of these 4 looks inspired by our Summer 2021 Malibu collection. We love seeing your work and we love sharing your work. So if you're interested in following along with our tour of our hometown for the 40th anniversary, please follow at OPI and at OPI_professionals. And of course, please follow at Wella Canada West and of course myself at Samantha Nailed It, and keep an eye out for this awesome Summer 2021 collection that's coming out June 1st. Like I said, available in nail lacquer, infinite shine, and gel color. I cannot wait to see what all of you think of this awesome collection celebrating a little bit of OPI's hometown. Thanks again so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing all of you very soon. Please be safe, please be kind, and show each other some support. Bye.